going on, everybody? I go by the name of Kari, and I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on SneakerPhetish. In 2018, Jordan Brand came out with the International Flight Pack, a 3-pack of sneakers that took us to 3 different locations around the world: Los Angeles, Barcelona, and Tokyo, Japan, with the Air Jordan 5, 3, and 12. Unfortunately, the pack, in my opinion, was a little bit mid, but I liked the idea. Jordan Brand is back with a new iteration of the International Flight Pack, this time representing 3 different Jordan Brand retailers from around the globe: Titan over in Manila, Philippines, Shelf Life down in South Africa, and today's sneaker that I'm excited to talk to you guys about, we're going to Detroit, Michigan, the Motor City itself, for Shop 218's first collaboration with the brand. Without further ado, let's get into it. Boom. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Air Jordan 2 Low by 218. Really excited to have this sneaker in hand, man. I was excited about this shoe when I first saw it, when I first saw some early images of it, but that's kind of the problem with early images of sneakers. You have zero context around the shoe itself, and I had a feeling when I saw some of the details that this was going to be a special story, and this rollout didn't disappoint at all. We got a lot to talk about with these and why these actually made it into my top 10 list for 2022. Before we get into the shoe, we got to talk about the box. All right, now, as I mentioned, International Flight Club box here, represented by the globe that's on the lid of the box here with the Jordan symbol right in the middle of it here. You have the 3 different postcards here. Detroit right over there. That's the Philippines there. South Africa over there. Very fly. Now, Air Jordan 2 style box as well, right? So we're going to be seeing more of these Air Jordan 2 OG style boxes here with the wings kind of cut out on the lid here. Very, very fly. When we open the top of the box here, we've really got to talk about the paper. That's where it starts to get special. On the inside of the paper, this is where we actually start the story of Burn Rubber, which eventually became 218. Now, you see here, this is a map of the Detroit metropolitan area, but not just Detroit. You see there are some other cities here that are kind of circled and kind of hard around it. Flint, for instance. We're also talking about Pontiac, Michigan, which is a big part of this story here. We're talking about Royal Oak. We're talking about all the different portions of the Detroit area that don't actually get talked about all that often. Detroit is a lot more than Detroit. The Midwest has really been kind of an underdog when it comes to the sneaker and streetwear scene for quite some time. Detroit is known to be more of an industrial city, but today, they're known for their sneakers. So let's get back into this a little bit and why this matters so much. So like I mentioned, Burn Rubber, if you're not familiar with Burn Rubber as a store, that's actually a sneaker boutique that's, again, located in the Detroit area, founded by Rick Williams and Roland Coy. We'll call them Rick and Row. And Rick and Row actually took over Burn Rubber. That actually was a store that was established back around 2004, but actually wasn't really doing that well. They were actually able to take the store over and purchase the store from the previous owners, and that's how they allowed it to become the store that it ended up becoming. But it was very humble for them. Both of them were actually doing other things in their lives. They were working at call centers. Rowe, who actually is the owner of 218, we'll get into that in a minute, he actually was doing a lot of things. He's a rapper, a DJ, a multi-hyphenate creative type person that ended up coming into the entrepreneurial side of things very early on, along with Rick. Now, Rick is really dope because before they actually took over Burn Rubber, Rick actually said that he had a humble spirit, and that's what he attributes a lot of his success to. He started off by making websites for Burn Rubber and actually having an unpaid internship of sorts with the store in order to build relationships and to kind of learn how things work. From there, Rick and Roll really embodied the spirit of hard-working Detroit locals by going and networking and establishing the power of relationships as it came to other local artists like Big Sean before he got famous, and other people that they were able to tap into and network with, and to share that love of sneakers and streetwear with their local community as well. Burn Rubber became a hit, and before you knew it, they were starting to do sneaker collaborations. Most of them was for a Reebok Lux, which was the spirit of Detroit. The next one was actually on the Reebok Bolton sneaker, which was a triple collab between Burn Rubber, the Detroit Red Wings, and Reebok as well. Hey, so quick break. I normally don't do this, but as I'm editing this, I just wanted to let you guys know there were a lot of Reebok collaborations with Burn Rubber. I only talked about those 2, but there were a lot, like the Detroit Pistons Question Mid, the Detroit Players model, the Night Storm model. There's so many different Reebok models that Reebok did collaborations with Burn Rubber with. It's pretty insane. So for the sake of time, we won't get into all those, but just know there were a lot more collaborations. Back to the video. But Burn Rubber became became larger and larger. As a matter of fact, one of the most infamous stories about Burn Rubber that really put them on the map was the infamous Nike Air Yeezy situation that happened back around the original time of the launch around 2009. If you guys were into sneakers during that time, you may remember that Burn Rubber got on national news for being a retailer that actually was able to get sneakers at manufacturer's pricing from Nike, but because of how much demand was on the shoe and how many people were outside of the store, marked up the price of the sneaker to $1,000, and people at the store still bought them, which of course proved to be a good investment if you were reselling back in the day. Needless to say, they realized at that time that this sneaker thing was something really, really special, and they continued to grow. As a matter of fact, Sneaker Shopping has filmed episodes of their famous show at Burn Rubber Detroit. People like Eminem and so many other legends have come through Burn Rubber, and they've actually become a part of the brand as well. So Burn Rubber really cemented itself into the streetwear and sneaker culture, not just in Detroit, not just in the Midwest, but abroad as well. With the success of Burn Rubber came its new sister store, which was known as 218. And 218 is the brainchild of Roland Coit, or Rose Spit, which is his MC name. And actually his music is really dope. You guys may want to get on Apple Music and check out what he's got. But Roland decided that he wanted to venture a little bit more into Detroit by opening up 218. 218, the name actually paying homage to its big brother Burn Rubber. The B, or the second letter of the alphabet, represents the word 2 in the name, and the 18 actually is made to look like the letter R. So BR 218, same family. It's pretty incredible that a store that literally just opened up maybe 8 months ago already got its first Jordan brand collaboration. But of course, no doubt that ties in with the incredible success of Burn Rubber and the amazing relationship that Burn Rubber and now 218 continue to have with Nike and Jordan brand. So it's a high honor to be considered for the International Flight Club collaboration, and of all places 218. And listen guys, first impression of the sneaker, they knocked this out of the park. This is very true to its roots though, and I think that's the most important thing about this sneaker. Let's dive in. All right, now starting with the upper of the shoe here. Now the brown represents apparently boots. Now if you guys know anything about Detroit, you know that Detroit, again, Midwest, a very industrious town. Pontiac, Michigan, where Roland is actually from, just like its name sounds, was the birthplace of Pontiac Motors, the car company that ended up kind of going defunct. So we all know that Detroit, again, Motor City, has everything to do with industrial workers, a very blue collar city. And what do blue collar workers usually wear? Boots, work boots, Timberlands. As a matter of fact, Timberlands are very popular, just like other fashion staples if you're from the city. I mean, Timberland boots and work boots are just as much a fashion staple as Buffy's or Cartier frames, if you guys aren't familiar with how Detroit gets down. So the upper of the shoe really represents that. It represents a sneaker that you can wear up or wear down. Let's talk about the quality of the materials here. Really, really nice nubuck on this shoe. Super soft material that they use, but very durable. I like this. As a matter of fact, I'm actually going to caution you guys to go a half size up on these because the material is really good. It fits a little bit tight right around the top of the foot. At least it did for me. Now, this is a true size 9. I ended up getting a size 9. Shout to the homie Just Feets, by the way, for hooking me up with a pair. I appreciate you for real. But with that, you guys might want to go a half size up. Now, moving up from that nubuck, you have kind of these cognac colored eyelets on the laces here. Very nice touch. From there, we have that nice red and blue contrast along with the brown here. The red and blue, of course, representing the logo for 218 with the raven in the middle with the red and blue stripes here. Now, from what I know, I think that the red and blue represents the Detroit Pistons, the classic bad boy Pistons, the classic red and blue, but don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. Moving back from there on the lateral side, you have this really nice, rich brown kind of cognac colored suede here. Really, really nice suede offsetting with that really nice nubuck. Again, this shoe, very premium feeling, especially for the $200 price tag. Now on the medial side of the shoe, that's where you have kind of the reptilian print on the shoe as well. So you have really nice suede on one side, really dope reptilian print on the medial side. Taking the top down, look at the shoe here, nothing super different, more of that nubuck in the toe box. Moving up, you have brown laces pre-laced up in the shoes, and of course the rubberized Air Jordan Ball of Wings logo prominently placed on the front of the tongue. Now that brings us to the interior, the sock liner of the shoe here, lined in this really dope leather. Feels really nice. It gives the shoe, again, a bit of an elevated, more premium luxe feel, and I really like that. Now that leather is also lined on the back of the tongue here, which by the way has exposed foam on the top, which is dope. But the tags, let's talk about this. Now this is the right shoe, of course. On the back of the tongue on the right shoe, you have the Shop 218 logo. However, on the back of the left shoe here, you have this tag that says "Through It All" with a whole bunch of numbers on it. By the way, those sets of numbers are also represented on the lace tips of the pre-lace set of shoelaces inside of the shoe as well. Now, what exactly did these numbers mean? When I did my research and realized what it was really fly. Here it is. Through It All is kind of a mantra that Burn Rubber and now Shop 218 use, kind of the ethos of their company. They've been able to be successful through all of the elements and the obstacles and the ups and downs that a lot of entrepreneurs face, especially coming from the socioeconomic climate from a city like Detroit, Michigan. The first three sets of numbers, though, represent the years that Burn Rubber was in business at those locations, and the three numbers accompanying those years are actually the addresses of where the store was. So the first set of numbers, 07 to 14, 202, that's 2007 to 2014, Burn Rubber was at 202 West 4th Street. Then from 2014 to 2019, they were at 306 South Main Street. And from 2019 to 2022, where they are now, Burn Rubber is at 512 North Main Street. Now the final set of numbers, J2, of course, Jordan 218, that stands for 218, kind of a double entendre. And of course, the original date, which was supposed to be in August of 2022. Unfortunately, because we know how this thing goes, the sneakers didn't end up dropping until October of 2022. Thank you, shipping delays. I mean, when we're talking Easter eggs, come on, man, it don't get no better than that. Now, since we talked about those numbers on the laces as well, two extra sets of laces, cream colored set of laces matching the midsole, and then you have this black set of laces as well, if you want to throw a little black in there with a little bit of a contrast. Personally, I would probably stick with either the brown or the cream laces. You know what? The cream might look nice. If dope laces with those Easter eggs and metal lace tips wasn't enough, you also get this really fly, very nice brown leather hang tag as well. On one side, you have the Jordan Brand International Flight Club logo. You flip it over and you have the Shop 218 logo, the raven with the stripes going behind it. Very, very dope. I mean, like, they really went all out on this shoe. Like, this is crazy. But if you thought we were done with the Easter eggs, we're not. We haven't even gotten to my absolutely favorite part of the shoe yet, which is the outsoles. Now, on the first glance, the outsoles are giving you semi-translucent icy blue outsoles with the red and the blue on the left and right shoes respectively, just similar to the Shop 218 logo, but it gets deeper than that. If you notice on the outsole, there's a gradient that starts as a dark brown color and transforms into a clear color by the time you get to the front of the foot. This is actually made to represent a statement about the Flint water crisis happening in Flint, Michigan. The outsole actually represents what the water currently looks like in Flint, which is still very tainted and very dangerous to drink, very polluted with the brown water, and the hopes that eventually Flint will get back to having clean and clear water for everybody in that community. And our thoughts continue to go out with Flint. It's been entirely too long that Flint has been without clean water. I don't know why, and this isn't a political channel, but I don't know why Flint still doesn't have clean water yet. It is what it is. But what an incredibly powerful statement to use for your first collaboration as your 218 with Jordan Brand. Using this to really paint that picture and give love to Flint. Absolutely incredible. And if all that wasn't enough, the insoles incredible as well, mirroring the same Detroit map on the paper as well. So really, really fly here on the heels. Jordan Brand logo, Shop 218 logo. Incredible job. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the 218 Air Jordan 2 Low collaboration with Jordan Brand for the International Flight Club of 2022. Guys, listen. If you guys aren't convinced by now that this is one of the best sneakers of 2022, I really don't know what else to tell you. This right here is such an incredible moment, like I said, for Detroit, Michigan, for the Pontiac area, for Roe, for Rick, for the Burn Rubber family, for black business owners. Guys, remember, there are a lot more black people that own sneaker stores than James Whitner. All love to James Whitner and what he's doing with the Whittaker Group. But guys, listen, There are a lot of other retailers, and we're going to be talking about a lot of those other black business owners, those black retailers out here, than Union and Amamenyer. Burn Rubber and what's been created as a black business, especially coming out of a city like Detroit, for them to get from where they were to where they are today has been phenomenal. I love that they're getting their flowers right now for this amazing release. And they gave back to the city. Roland actually went back to his old school and said because the 8th grade was a pivotal point for him, gave free pairs of the sneakers to every 8th grader at his old school. It don't get no better than that. This is what I love about sneakers. It's the stories. This is what makes sneakers matter. This is what you're not going to get from an early leaker or an early photo or an early in-hand shot. You're not going to get what makes these shoes so special. And like I said, I'm going to show you guys the sneakers that you want to see, especially with a little bit of an early look. These are slated to drop on the sneakers app, I think, within the next few days. However, I want you guys to understand why these are so special. These are more than just another Air Jordan 2 that we're throwing on the apps, guys. This is the result of years of blood, sweat, and tears put into one of the best sneakers of this year. And again, this checks all the boxes for me when it comes to my top 10. Accessibility, there were a lot of pairs, especially for the Detroit area. Quality of materials, execution, which was all great. Storytelling and messaging, inspiration behind the sneaker, phenomenal. I mean, what else is there? The only reason why you wouldn't like this sneaker is just because you don't like 2s, which is understandable because 2s are not the most popular silhouette. But my goodness, if you remotely like 2s, you gotta love these. Once again, shout out to Rick, shout out to Ro with what they're doing with 218 and Burn Rubber. Hopefully they continue to elevate. Hopefully this sneaker will be the launching point of many other incredible sneakers to come. I can't wait to see what they're doing. And next time I'm in the area, you best believe I'm gonna be visiting those stores. But that's enough about these. Now it's time for you guys to sound off down below. Let me know what you guys think about the 218 Air Jordan 2 Low. Where are these ones that you guys are trying to get on your must cop list? Are these ones that you guys are trying to get your hands on? Or for whatever reason, are you guys going to take a hard pass on these? Sound off down below. Let me know. Of course, right down in the comments, make sure that you click on that subscribe button so we can welcome you into the Sneaker Fetish family to make sure you don't miss out on any more heat that comes through like these, because I guarantee you, I got a lot more heat on the way. As always, I want to thank you guys for joining me here today on Sneaker Phetish, taking a look at these with me, unboxing them with me for a couple of minutes. I go by the name of Kari. This is the Air Jordan 2 Low by 218 for the 2022 International Flight Club Collection. And until next time, I'm out.